Hello, South Sudan. This is Gender Talk 211 with you, Jackie, and today we are going to have an amazing conversation with our young ladies. So I would like them to introduce themselves and we dive into our conversation.
Hello, good evening, South Sudan. It's great to be here again, Jackie. Thank you. My name is Agao Bulding. I work with Ma Mara Sakit Village as the community lead for feminist movement. Thank you.
Good afternoon, South Sudan. I am Koropa Martina. I'm from cohort 5, also with Ma Mara Sakit. I hope you tune in and have a wonderful time today.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nyayul Bol. I'm a student at Stafford International University, and I'm from cohort 4, and I hope you tune in as you listen. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that introduction. We are making our own effort as young ladies, as young women. So our center of conversation today is going to look at the feminist movement and the conference. So these ladies have all the resources. What is it even that we will talk about? So I'll begin with Agao. And Agao, please can you tell us what is the feminist movement all about?
Thank you so much, Jackie. In our space, I would start with how we understand feminism itself. And for us, feminism is a social construct, an ideology that advocates for women's rights in order to achieve gender equality, that is of political, social, economical, and even personal and social as well. So the idea of the concept of the movement came about in 2022 around August because we realized that women's liberation begins with the understanding of self beyond what girls and women are socialized in the society to believe about who they are and their worth, So we just wanted to create a space where women can identify who they are. A space that is co-creating, a space that brings different people from different backgrounds. And that is how we envision it. And we actually kick-started with the feminist, what we call Feminist Talking Circles. And these Feminist Talking Circles are, they are a 5 days training program designed for various groups of young women and girls within communities and learning institutions to hold facilitated discussions, self-awareness, and that is of social, cultural, political, and economic barriers that affect young women and girls in South Sudan to raise their consciousness, agency, autonomy, and comprehensive understanding of patriarchy as a system. So this is the whole background, and this is where the idea stemmed from. So we started the first Feminist Talking Circles. Now that you know what Feminist Talking Circles are, we started with a group of young women and girls, 25, from different communities, different backgrounds, and persons with disabilities were also included with different talents, So in December, in August, we did the first Feminist Talking Circles. And so there was a challenge there because we completed the second part of that Feminist Talking Circles around December. So without taking much of your time, maybe let me give you time to respond. Thank you.
Yeah, before I come in, maybe your beneficiaries, I could call them, because they benefited from the training. Maybe they have a different understanding of what the feminist is. So you can pass the mic to the next.
They actually co-produce the knowledge from the space, so I wouldn't term them as really beneficiaries, but they were also a great resource to our space. So yeah.
Okay, thank you very much. Before I start, I want to make it clear to the audience being a feminist is not being a man hater. That is something very important we as South Sudanese should know. Because even before coming to this space, coming here today, I shared about this talk that I'm going to have, and the response that I was getting from some people was, oh, so now you want to be a man. No, that is not what feminism is. True feminism, I myself always thought I was a feminist, yes? But it was until I was in these talk circles that I was equipped with knowledge that was beyond me. You cannot give when you're half empty. You have to be full in order to give others. So this is exactly. So this is what I got from being in a talk circle. I got a more broad understanding of what true feminism is. And we as feminists, we are not saying we hate men. We are not saying we want to be like men. We are just saying give women opportunities. We too can do if we're given equality. All we are asking for is acknowledge our existence and acknowledge that there are people that are not getting half as much as you are, and be a voice to those people. So that's what I came to understand. And feminism is not only one type. I came to the realization that there are so many different types of feminism. There are so many different things you can call, and there are so many. I also came to understand more where the negativity comes in with, oh, when you say I'm a feminist, and the first thing that comes to a person's mind is, oh, she hates men. Oh no, we are not like that. Here, we don't have any issues with you, men, if you're listening. We do not have any problem with you. We are just saying, give us opportunities. And we are fighting for those opportunities. Thank you very much.
Thank you for that.
For me, I experienced a lot, and I think one of them is the togetherness. It brought different people. I believe we're all fighting tribalism in South Sudan, and this circle has brought different tribes, and I believe women play a big role in peacemaking and developing the country and all that. So if we're given our chance, or if we're given our space to do something to the country, I know we can do that. So this circle has helped me to get to know so many people and to know my value. Yeah, I think I knew, but then at least it has given me the space to believe that I can do something. And if I can do it, any other girl outside there can do it.
Oh, thank you. That's amazing. So, Agao has been coordinating this program, and I just wanted to know from all of us, is feminism something that South Sudanese appreciate?
Honestly, feminism is not something that South Sudanese appreciate. And I feel like it is because they come from a place where they do not understand truly what being a feminist is. Because if they did, they would advocate for it. I just want the people listening in, imagine having a daughter. You send that daughter to school, and she graduates only for her not to be given half the opportunity that your son will be given simply because she's a woman. For me, I'm a person who studied civil engineering, and it is not a course that usually females like to take, but I did. And I have faced it too, because people look at you when you tell them that you're a civil engineer, and they doubt your ability. They do not think you can do half a good job as a man would. But that is not true. So what I'm saying is, if South Sudanese, if you people looked at women from a places of, this could be my daughter, and I want the best for my daughter, I want the best for my sister, I want the best for my mom, for my any female relative, or even people. Like, I just wish South Sudanese would open up their minds, try to educate themselves of what being a true feminist is. Because feminism is not something that just started. But unfortunately, South Sudan is lagging behind, because even women do not support the idea of being a feminist to certain.
Yeah, you're making it a very important point, but I'm also not surprised that all of us in this house are South Sudanese, and we are in line with that. So I just wanted to know. Yeah, please.
Just to add my voice on the question whether South Sudanese appreciate feminism or not. Well, to be honest, not everyone, not all South Sudanese agree to the idea. Also, not all South Sudanese detach themselves from the idea. And it's also understandable because people have different opinions. People believe on different things. People decide to pursue different careers for a reason. So then what I'm saying is, if feminism is an ideology, just like I already explained, that aims to really achieve that gender equality, and then I do not see what is wrong with it. And if people are at that place that they have not yet grasped what it means, and then it's okay. I think we need to just put that boundary there. Yes, it's okay that these types of people who do not really understand, or maybe they have not taken much time to educate themselves on what feminism is, and then they can exist without attacking what I'm doing, right? I think this is where we can coexist in the society. So it's okay if someone wants to educate him or herself, they can take that initiative and to learn more on feminism. Maybe they should get pros and cons of feminism, and whether they ascribe to the idea or not, that is really up to them. But for me, as I'm a feminist, I will put that, and I believe in the ideology because it humanizes me as a girl, and it humanizes other people in the society. So whether someone agrees with it or not, it's really not much of my concern, so long as what I'm doing is impactful to the community. And then I really think this is where we draw the line on who's agreeing with me or not. Yeah, so thank you.
You want to add something?
Something small.
Okay.
I also believe that South Sudanese do not, they just have this negative concept. It's more of what she said. I have a colleague, I told her that there was a training that I attended, and then it was cohort 5 now, they needed people. They told us to recommend people. And all she said, oh, you want to be like those people who don't want to get married? I mean, they hate men. So I tried to explain to her, but then she didn't want to listen. And this is a fellow woman. So I believe that also women play a big role in even making the feminism word not to be understood by other people. They should instead, I was trying to explain it to her, but then she didn't seem interested. So yeah, I believe South Sudanese women themselves, South Sudanese women also don't understand the word feminism. Yeah,
Okay.
Just to really maybe talk briefly on women and not really understanding the concept. I think for me it's also okay because we are part and parcel of this patriarchal society. So in some ways we have really internalized the system, the patriarchal system. We are part of this system. And from when we were socialized as young people and up to where we are today, we're just moving in the same line with men, right? We took how they define us personal. So it's okay for women not to be at the same page with us now, but then I feel like it's okay for us to be patient with each other and with others until they really get to an understanding of what feminism is. Just like the same way the space provided you the opportunity to share, and you were willing, to join the community. So yes, there are women who would not agree on feminism. Why? Because they have internalized misogyny, or they are part of the system. So we are socialized in a very patriarchal way. And if you have not taken time to educate yourself, and then it will be hard for you to really sit and even agree for you to be called a feminist or be in a space that feminists are in. Yeah, just wanted to add that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Agao. I'm using this. Okay. So thank you so much, Agao. You talk of inclusivity, like in the training or the talking circle. You also consider people with disability. Like the whole thing is inclusive. So I wanted to know the procedures that you use to train people?
You know, we are all part of a community. And when Aloel, Paula, and I, and the rest of the team sat to define how we wanted this space to be, we did not want to leave people out. Because our understanding of feminism, or what that Ma Mara Sakit community means to us, is that it is not by your education. Yes, you can be educated as Jackie, you can be educated as Martina Nyayul, but then still it does not make you powerful over other people. Although there are privileges, yes, of someone who's educated than someone who has not yet gotten an opportunity. There are those differences. So that space for us meant a community where women can just come, regardless of their background, regardless of their educational status, regardless of what type of business or type of work that they are doing, their line of work. That space really was open for everyone, which is why also we thought of using an intersectional approach by doing what? By including other people that we felt were left out in the space. And to be honest, when I was working on mobilizing these young girls, that was tough for me. But at the end of the day, I sat down and then with the support of Aluel and Paolo, of course, and clearly defined some sort of criteria. Yeah. So if we are bringing in students, maybe university students, so long as you have the time to be part of the 5 days training, if you are a businesswoman, this space is for you. If you are from which tribe in South Sudan, name it, this space is for you. And why? It's for us to define the community that we want for ourselves, to build a system of support that we need. So my experiences or the criteria that we use, we took people from the political background, business background, like I've said, and so it was a very inclusive. It was a very inclusive space. Yes, and number one, we had wanted to foster friendship among these people, because you are bringing people for the very first time they are meeting each other. You know, so one of our objectives was really in that space to foster friendship. It's a process, you know, as they continue with the training within those 5 days, they get to know each other better. You introduce yourself, story, and really we had a unique way of introducing ourselves. Like, I remember Koropo, that is her name, correct me if I'm wrong, Koropo. She has a very beautiful meaning behind her name, mother of all nature, you know. And if that comes to mind, and then you remember this name holds power. In that space also, there were some people who are named, their names had some sad stories, you know, and it was hard for them opening up, but the space really just allowed them to unknowingly even talk about this, you know, and that was part of healing. So for me, the space was good. It brought people with different ideas, different knowledge, different skills, and people that were just there to unite and work through one goal. So you have asked on how the inclusivity process went on.
Sure, that's amazing, and it makes sense. And I think all of us who are listening are benefiting to this. And it also came to our realization that the talking circle led to a conference. So we also wanted to know, how was the conference like, and how did you identify people for the conference?
Okay, so thank you. Talking of the conference was now like the end goal of the 6 feminist talking circles. Like I mentioned earlier on, the talking circles were initiated in August last year, and then for some reason we completed the first cohort training in December, right? But in January 2023, I think on 9th to 13th, we had the second cohort joining in, and then again on the 27th to 3rd of February, we had the third cohort coming in, and that was possible with the support that we got from UNFPA. So I would like to really mention that they supported us to host the other the other cohorts. So we did, in this year, we completed 5 talking circles. And if you add them with the first one that we initiated in 2022, and then that's add up to 6 circles. So the idea of the conference, yes, was to bring these ladies together. Okay?
Yeah.
The idea of the circle was to bring, because these circles were in a smaller group of 20 to 25 young women and girls that attended for 5 days. But then we were looking at the bigger picture. Yes, we have built these people in smaller communities, but then how do we bring them together? So then this is how the conference came about. And we held the conference on 4th and 5th of May with the theme, Reclaiming My Voice, Amplifying Echoes of Our Resistance, and Building a South Sudan that works for us. So this conference, now from cohort 1 to cohort 6, brought about 100 young women and girls together. So we had this conference on 4th. It was a 2 days in-person conference. It was very lively. I personally had fun. And within the conference, again, we invited 7 prominent leaders, that are women, such that they can have conversations with the ladies. And I remember we divided them towards the last day. We divided the young women into different groups based on where your interest lies. If you're a person that is interested in politics, you are in the same group with Her Excellency Rebecca Joshua, right? And then there was another group with Justice Ajonye. That was if you are interested in law, human rights, then you are with Justice Ajonye. There was the business group with Yarma Noah, a very big group that day. There were women in peace processes. If you are interested in peace, you are with Alokir. There were women to really understand the Katiba Banat movement. And Honorable Nyandeng Dao, I think. Adun Dao was there, and Mary Akech to take them through that. And Professor Julia Yendwa, not to leave her behind, with the people that were interested in education. So I think I've answered you on how the conference went.
Yeah, and you have been working with so many ladies, about 100, and the 2 are also contributors to that. So I wanted also to hear from them what was the interaction like, meeting high-profile people, I could say that, and how did you really benefit from, the connection, the interaction?
Okay, so during, like she said, during the conference, not only did we get to meet people from other cohorts, we also got to meet like very prominent women in South Sudan today. Personally, I was part of the business group, which was a very large group. So we were under Ma Mara. And I can assure you one thing, she gave us a step-by-step formula. She's like, she wants more women and she is ready to help us. Because I remember her saying her office is open. She says she needs, if you have a business plan, if you have something that is down there written, you are ready to start, she will be there for you. So that is a connection that you would not have ordinarily made by yourself. And not only that, personally, me, I have an online business. And it is so amazing that some of my sisters from the cohort are also my customers. So I would not have reached to them without that conference. I got so much from there, and I also had something to give, because there were some people who would ask what they should do and this and this. We had also 2-by-2 interactions during the conference. And not only that, I remember there was somebody that was invited. I'm sorry, I've forgotten his name, but he was invited by UNDP. So he also gave us more insights of what this whole conference. To be honest, this conference was one of the most amazing things I've attended in South Sudan, leave alone the weddings. Yeah, there are weddings, but the connections you get to make in these talk circles, in this conference, if you sum it together, right now, we have sisters inviting us for their weddings. We have sisters telling us, oh, this and this and this, you people, and we are congratulating. We have those that are graduating, and we are all for them. Not even that. The most amazing part, if you check on our WhatsApp group, you will find employment opportunities, one sister to another. Like, that is something. Without these circles, you would not have gotten it, because people are reluctant to, like, talk to other people, trust other people and all that. But since they got to be there right now, we don't refer to ourselves as, we are not strangers. You find one in the market, hey, yeah, I miss you too. That is bonding. We really got to bond with some of these films. Like, even now, there are some I talk to, we plan events outside. That is all because we met there. We connected. That is something, if I went to Konyokonyo, I would not find. If I went to a wedding, I would not find that. So I am really grateful to the organizers. And I'm also, like, I am really waiting for the next one. Yeah.
For me, I attended the first day of the conference, and what I really loved about it was the one-on-one talk. Like, who were just reshuffled every now and then. I got to know different people from different cohorts, and then I think I had a problem of not being so. Whenever I have a problem, I hardly share. But then ever since, I think I erased this from the cohort, like the first circle, the fourth cohort that I had. So when we went for the conference, I got to meet people that I had last met in my maybe primary 7. And I was so excited. And yeah, and it was this space. Maybe I wouldn't have met them if it wasn't for the space. So I felt so grateful, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I was just so excited. But then I was sick. That's why I didn't attend the next. But I had a lot, and yeah, I learned a lot without, imagine, I don't even know them. They are not even my sisters. I didn't know them. But then I got to learn a lot from them because they felt like I missed, and then they should let me know. So it has really connected us, just like she said. And just last week, Thursday, I was out with a friend that I met from the circles, and we got so attached. And I don't know, I just feel so excited and grateful to the people that came up with this. Yeah.
The space is reconnecting, because you mentioned somebody that you have been in primary 7,
Yes.
and you met her recent.
Yeah.
So it's reconnecting, it's connecting, it's bringing new friendship, It also allows you to open up, like you're that kind of person who die alone.
Yeah.
You really need to see the conversations in on WhatsApp group. It's there's the people inviting you for different conferences. The people, like she said, sharing opportunities. The people selling their stuff, and you're like, hey, I have this. The other person is like, I'm interested in getting this. So there's that bond, there's that celebration, there is that sisterhood that is built. And I think for us, that is all that we wanted, Yes, you can exist on your own, you can do your things, but then within our community that we have built, we support each other. It's like it's our system of support, And yes, so the conversation in the group, they're really like encouraging, like you've already heard from their connections and interactions outside the space, and how they got to be part of the fourth and the fifth cohort was because they were recommended by people that had attended the first cohort, and I feel like that also helped me in identifying people, because one of the things that we told them in the space was, now that you have completed this 5 days training, you are automatically part of the community. But then if you feel like this is not the space for you, again, it's okay. With the knowledge that you have, that is okay. If you are comfortable in this space, you are welcome. We are a big family. And then one of the things you need to do for us is to recommend someone that you think would love to be in this space and get more knowledge. And to be honest, this space brought other South Sudanese people that I used to, like in cohort 4, I met Joanne. Joanne is a TikToker and she's a comedian, So she was part of that space. And there are other people that joined the space. So for me, really, that space and connecting with the girls has built me personally as a girl. It has also shaped my relationship with the girls. It has shaped my communication. It has shaped how I look at certain things, certain issues, because at least you are learning bit of smaller things from people. It brought people that have talent. There's this young amazing woman in the group called Rayla Akur. Akur is an artist. She draws, yeah, and she's so passionate, and her work is great. There are poets in the group. There are journalists in the group. So the opportunity is always coming up. Hey, we need these people here and there. Last night, I think I saw a text. They were looking for people that did journalism and communication in the group. So you see, this space is a space of opportunities. It's a space that we see ourselves beyond how we were defined, or beyond what we are told, beyond our limitations. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been seeing a girl with a lot of energy, you know, how she moves herself around with the ladies, and she does the work with a lot of passion. Now that you did the conference, so after the conference, how did you end up?
Okay, that's a good question. And again, we will come back to the idea of the WhatsApp group that we have, and how we are using that space to connect, to mobilize, and to do our work differently. The space also was to give these ladies the knowledge that they needed, you know?
Yeah.
And to open up spaces and opportunities for them. So it was not really for what they should do to us as Ma Mara Sakit. It's what you get from there. So from the conference, that was the end of our talking circles for this year. Because like I said, it's a new thing. It's first of its kind in South Sudan. So it's a space that we are still developing and co-creating with all these amazing participants, right? So we are kind of on a break now from the conference. Yes, there are other things going on. There are things that are ongoing in the group. There are opportunities. There's a lot of information that is being shared here and there. And just also to that space supported the campaign. You know, it gave birth to the campaign. The anti-GBV bill campaign that came, and these ladies were part of that. And they did that with the support of the other team members and charity. And they've really visited different institutions. They've gone to Parliament and met with the Speaker. They've gone to Ministry of Gender. They've gone to Ministry of Justice. And they are still continuing with these conversations because they have understood where they come in. They have realized where the gaps exist in our, maybe in our constitutions and other bills that do not really allow us to be humanized as part of the society. And they took the initiative of really amplifying the voices of other women and ensuring that this bill they followed up the bill up to when it will be passed, you know. So that's again, it's an amazing aspect of what the talking circles and the conference brought that I wanted to highlight. Aluel and Paula, who are our amazing, shout out to them wherever that they are. They really did some amazing work. So they are still developing the workbook because we want this to be a continuous thing.
Okay.
But since we have defined, at least we have had over, right now in our community, we have like about 140 young women and girls. And they have provided us with the knowledge that we needed. So Aluel and Paula will develop the guidebook or workbook that they will use, that can be used by other South Sudanese later on to do this type of training if they think they have interest to them and their work. So I think for us, the work has not stopped. We are still doing a lot differently, individually and collectively in our group. But then the talking circles will start again next year.
Okay.
But for the other part of the year, we are going to continue staying awake, open our eyes, and continue to challenge the systems and other injustices that are around us and that are affecting other people. So we are still, there's no rest with this work, by the way.
I love that.
You don't go on holiday on this work, either individually, either at home, either in workspace. You will always encounter certain things that really push you back as a person, and you will realize, oh, okay, this is actually happening to me because I'm a woman, so it's like I'm being targeted in this. So like I said, there's no break on this. It's either in your personal life, in your relationship, be it with your your family members, your husband, your boyfriend, name it, you know, it does not stop there. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the point Agao made and the contributors to the movement also made, like the connection part of it. It's something that's very important. We have amazing women, elderly women, we can call them our mothers, that we cannot easily connect to them, and they are successful people. So it's also more of the intergenerational conversation, you know, engaging with people who have experience, and they can shape, you know, your life ideas, how you want your vision to look like. And then yeah, it's something, it's a point that I really love. And moving on with our conversation, you mentioned, but I just needed to understand into depth with also the two contributors that you have about the challenges. Like, are there challenges that you think will stop the movement? And then how can we move on despite the challenges?
Well, currently, I feel like the biggest challenge that, okay, as Agao said, we're trying to push for the anti-GBV bill, but I came to the understanding that the bill apparently is not a priority. You see, that sets us back because we cannot wait 10 years, we cannot wait until when they can prioritize it. Because right now, if you read the newspapers, if you watch online, you have seen that there are so many injustices that are going on. For example, for the lady whose eyes were gouged out, that one made a lot of it. The only reason that one was paid attention to is because the media paid attention to it. But how many minor injustices are happening in places like Bor, in places like Kajukeji, places that are so far from here that the law enforcers cannot do anything because their hands are tied. So currently for me, I feel that is a really big setback, because some people do not even know that South Sudan does not have an anti-GBV bill. I had to explain to friends of mine that are from outside, and they're like, well, how can you have a constitution that does not include that? And I was like, well, we are pushing for it. This is the reason why we are here, and we are not going to stop, because as people, we are ready. We are not stopping anytime soon. We are going to keep pushing for it. It's a commitment. It's a personal commitment that is not going to stop. There is no payment for it. There is no someone that is going to pat you on the back and tell you well done. You choose it. So until then, we are still here and we'll still keep going.
I like that.
I think the solution will only be through such talks, space, like the spaces we've had, such talks on radios, stations, Ukida, and then also sharing on Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp. You just have to, just like she said it, the one of a book, was she called a book or something?
A quote.
Yeah, so it was shared a lot and it reached so many people, and I feel like that's the only way. If you keep sharing, that's the only way to reach people until, because I don't know how long it's going to take, but then if you keep sharing, it can reach so many people until there's something done about it. Because if you're all going to radio stations, having talks like this, having spaces, Ukida, at least there will be something to be done about it. It won't be just, I feel like even if it's not so quick, but then it's a step-by-step process. And it will definitely take place.
I love the energy. We are not stopping here. Agao is burning.
Yeah. No, I just really want to come back. You've asked of question of challenges, which I think is really important.
Yeah, sure.
And I will go back to the challenges that I personally felt during the talking circles. So one of the biggest, and I think that was really, really one of the main challenge that disturbed us, the organizers, was the space that we did the training in, right? It's not their fault. I'm not putting that on them, but I'm just talking out on how society or where we are, we do not think of the needs of others. Like I said earlier on, we had persons living with disabilities in our midst, right? And so there was a staircase. Tell me, how can someone on wheelchair really get to that?
Yeah, sure.
You know, so this discourages some people that were supposed to be in the space, but the situation did not favor them, right? And they wouldn't want the burden of being carried, you know, for 5 days. You have to be taken to, if you have a call of nature, things of that kind. So I really, that for me, I think, and also the intersectional part of it, this is where my mind kind of got widened on how we really tend to neglect a lot of important issues, which is why I really want to thank you and Eva and the entire Gender Talk 2-on-1 team for having her here to represent other people. This is really important because it shows inclusivity, and information is important. Yeah. So that for me kind of distracted, you know, my mind. I was trying to coordinate. This lady cannot come. Like 3 of them miss, you know. They miss to be part of that beautiful experience. Why? Because the space did not favor them. So maybe if you are listening out there, the engineers, please try to consider other people, you know, just put options out there so that our society is inclusive. The other challenge is, like she said, when people say this bill is not a priority, the peace agreement is a priority. That's what I read from the responses that they got. But I feel like we really need to also sit down and see what do we really define as our priority. What does the priority mean to you, you know? Because you are telling me killing or the other violence, the gender-based violence cases, are they not a priority? People are dying, right? So for me, again, peace is important, but this is part and parcel of the peace that we are looking for. So we should not be picky, or we should not just choose certain things that we want to focus on. I feel like we need to sit down and see the most basic things that we can prioritize that can create harmony in the community, because a lot is happening. I was recently in Bor, and the women there, their engagement is amazing, right, with the community, because you will find these young ladies who are engaging and explaining to people in the village, like the likes of 1325, the Women, Peace and Security, in their local language. And that is amazing, because it makes the understanding of how you need to be protected much more easier, how you should participate, you know, how the prevention part of it, or what constitution actually says about you as a woman, right? So I feel like it's important. There are challenges, yes, but still, even how to tackle those challenges is part and parcel of the community. Because if we are here, we need to keep people on toes. People that are maybe we feel like they're not doing enough, or we feel like they are not paying attention to things that we need and things that are important to our humanity. And then it's our work it's our work to like pat them on the back, or just disturb them, you know, to let them know that this is needed, this is a priority, and we want this because it is important to us as women, it's important to us as South Sudanese, it's important to us as people generally. So yes, challenges are there, but they are part and parcel of this, and the only way they need to be encountered is commitment and constant, you know, working towards building this bigger and better community. It started only in Juba, right? But yes, towards the other year or many years to come, we might, these ladies again, once Aluel and Paula develop the workbook, and then we can have them for a TOT, you know, training of trainers. And then they can replicate this, because we cannot do it alone as the village team. So this is where they also come in, and they can replicate the talking circles in their own communities in different states. And that is how message, you know, that is how far as the message that we want can travel. And this is how we can organize and build our community together.
Yeah, thank you, Agao. You're making a very important point. Like also the trainers. Like I just wanted to understand it from our local perspective in terms of language, because if I'm not mistaken, during the training, all of us were using English. Okay, so I wanted it to be brought down, like in our own local languages, in our societies. What's that like for you people who have been part and parcel of this? Maybe we are not giving it a name, but we are doing it, the feminist work. So what is it in our societies? Do even people have ways or certain behavior, in the local communities that's not given an English name, and to reflect feminism or feminist activities?
Yeah, thank you for that. I think also this was part of why the space was there. Number one, to counter the idea that feminism is Western or it's actually foreign, right? So in the space also, they were asked, right, the participant, to share their thoughts around maybe the feminist thought that they think are in their community, and then they share in the space. Like, for instance, I'm from Dinka, and I was made to understand that. So, for instance, when I get married today, and it's I'm in my house, I'll have to be returned back. When I'm going to give birth for my firstborn, I will have to be returned back to my family house.
Okay.
Why? Because the other place is new for me, and childbirth is all a challenging whole thing. So that, for me, I was made to understand that was actually a feminist thoughts towards maternity and care for women, in some way. And for me, I was like, wow, this is really amazing. Also, some people shared in the naming. I think,
naming.
yes, the naming of children in their society. Yes, you can name, maybe it's alternative. Or maybe you can give me your, I can name the baby and you bring the other name, right? You share the naming system. Unlike from other places where it's male dominated, it's only men that decide how the naming system is going to look like. So I will just give the ladies the opportunity to share some of the experiences that they got from this space.
Because sometimes we are being accused of feminism being Eurocentric. It's not our thing. It's bad behaviors. It's not your culture.
Okay, so to this is what I'm going to tell you. Think about women that have been, of course, in right now, as we are right now, before, think about cultural times. Those days when we had chiefs and we had all the kingdoms and everything. Even then, there were women who would be in charge of other fellow women. There would be women who would solve disputes. Think about, okay, let's take away the fact that feminism is brought from the West. Before that, there were the local markets. In the local markets, most traders, most vendors there are women, and there are disputes. Those disputes, they tend to select a lady that will be in charge to solve. That itself is already what? Feminism. They are solving their own problems by themselves. They are like, okay, she's going to be our leader, because every time, people when they're in spaces, conflicts can arise. But what do? They find a way to do it by themselves. And if you've paid attention, there are places where warriors are women. There are places where providers, people who build houses, are women. There's one more thing that I would really like to say, because there is a workshop that I attended. They were launching a book concerning women participation in the economy of South Sudan. I was mind blown. You come to the realization that there are women who would go out there and do little things, as little as they can do. Why are they doing it? To be providers. That is already, what is that? That is feminism right there. I am going to do what I want because my kids have to go to school. My kids have to do this. For me personally, I was raised by one of people who are like that. My mother. This lady is something else. She went, got the job, took her kids to school. Until now, all of us are graduated. So we don't see that. Why is it that we are always paying attention to some things that are big? Why don't we look at the small things? the small things that women are doing every day to show feminism. But what people do, they will just overshadow all of that and claim, oh, it's the Westerners that are bringing this.
You're making a very important point of recognition. Thank you.
For me, it's also the married thing, but then it's when a man, in my culture, when a man wants to marry you the right way, like the way that it's supposed to be, he comes to your sisters, and then your sister mobilizes people, your friends, your age groups, your cousins, they all come and then they sit, they talk about it. And then if the ladies are convinced, if there's a specific amount they ask from the guy, if he does that and then the sisters are convinced, then there they can give a thumbs up for the guy to marry. Like they go to their fathers and then they talk about it. So to me, I feel like it's a priority. It makes me fit in that if my little sister is getting married and then I'm being, approached. So imagine I say no. I mean, at least I have a value. It makes me valuable.
Because I got to meet these beautiful ladies this year.
Sure.
And our connection is really amazing. For me, I feel like I'm one of the people that have really, really benefited a lot from this process, because by mobilizing, by talking to them, by coordinating, it really drove me closer to people that maybe if I was just in my own space or doing something else, I would have not met them, right, in life. So personally, that I feel like it's a big achievement for me. And as someone who is also from the peace building background, it's also helping me with ideas on how peace can be built with people differently, right?
Yeah.
And on how people can coexist. So one of the achievements that I can say is that there are plenty of achievements that came as a result. Completing even that training alone is a big achievement. Training of bringing 25 people that I've never met from different communities. She's from Nuer, I'm from Dinka,
Yeah.
and we met from there, right? And we introduced ourselves when we were strangers. So for me, the most important achievement for us as a community is really building that community and taking a chance to know each other. That is amazing for me, and it's mind-blowing. Conference is also another achievement, because it shows the series that we have had with these ladies from cohort 1 to cohort 6, and now concluding with the conference that brought prominent leaders. And if I go back and think through the conference, I danced that day. We were dancing. We posted the videos that we danced in Lorjang, Nuer, Acholi, name it, Shuluk,
Yeah.
And it was a place that had some serious energy. So that in a way, there are a lot of people that have said through the space, the kind of feedback that I got is that they really appreciate the space. They have healed from certain things that they were going through that they did not know, right? So really getting such a feedback is amazing. Just achievement also is the connecting part of it that they had mentioned, right? Now they are able to trade among themselves. They've built friendship, That friendship is there. And for me, again, they keep coming back. They invite us, hey, so this is happening. I'm graduating. Please attend. I need my sisters from the community to attend my graduation. That thought process of you thinking we actually exist, it's amazing for me.
Yeah,
and
sure.
that for me is an achievement.
Yeah, thank you so much, Agao. We are almost leaving. We have about 5 minutes to leave. And to our contributors, I just wanted to ask for information that you can give, because sometimes people shy away. They hear about feminism. When they hear that Ma Mara Sakit is having training of feminism training or something, they get scared. So what last advice can you give? You being a part of that, you contributed, you also benefited, you explore more. So what sort of advice can you give those who will wish to join feminism?
Okay, one thing I'll tell you is that it's life-changing. It will open your eyes to things that you did not even know that were there. for a person who grew up like outside South Sudan, I would have never known that there is no anti-GBV bill. I would never have known that there are certain laws. Actually, there, when we were talking with Ma Mara, she told us there are certain incentives that are given. So for you, if you think you want to join, you want to educate yourself, that right there is a movement. If you need people to support you, Ma Mara Sakit will always be there for you. It is a community that will always, if you reach out one hand, we will reach out another to pull you in. So I'll tell you, regardless of what you're going through, because in the conference I came to realize people were having negative, some people, very few, because they were not given transportation. But you see, if you came up to the coordinators and you told them, okay, I wish to attend, but A, B, C, D, trust me, these people would go above and beyond to make sure if it is transportation that you needed to attend, to get knowledge that will change your life, they'll provide it. If it's anything, if you're sick, whatever the cause is, I feel like if you just have to put it in your mind that I'm going to reach out and live about that whole, of course, I understand if you're going to be scared, because some people are, because so many people have negative attitude towards the whole feminism thing. But all I can tell you is we are here. You can reach Agao. You can reach her any time. She will be there.
I know. I am a witness to that.
Exactly. So, as much as you can, trust me, this will open your mindset. But also, you know, one thing I appreciate about the circles, we always tell people, if you think this is not for you, it is okay. If you think this is for you, it is also okay. Regardless, we are here, we exist.
Yeah, sure.
So that's all I can. Yes.
Okay, can you give us last word?
For me, it's I think it's knowing who you are. Yeah. After knowing who you are, and then it's all about the change, accepting the change. So if you're there and you're listening and you're willing to join the feminism movement, I feel like it starts with you. Then from you, then that's when you can be able, because when you change, when you accept change, is when you give space for change to take place, for you to know what is feminism. Yeah, so if you're out there, Ma Mara Sakit is the place to be. I think I wasn't who I am right now when I joined the cohort.
Wow.
And if at all I had time, I would even explain more and more. And yeah, I think I would be able to explain the changes. Oh, maybe people who are listening out there and know me, they have already seen the changes. And I feel like, yeah,
it's
you should.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, before we sign out, Agao, would you tell us the last word that we can hold on with?
The ladies have spoken, and thank you for the space once again. For me, really, if you are outside there, try to humanize people, right? It's really about humanity. At the end of the day, there's nothing that we are discussing other than humanity. And how do we humanize ourselves? Treat other people equally. Give people opportunities. If you are a girl and you're struggling, please raise your voice and reach out for your own, reach out for people to help you amplify your voice, right? There are sisters in the community that will hold your hand, and they can walk through this path with you. So what I can tell people is that let us open our minds, let us accept change. I understand it's a process.
Yeah, sure. It's not
I also understand it will not happen in 10 or 5 years, but the main important thing is that we start now, the changes that we want. Why? Because we want young people coming behind us. We want our children, even the ones that are coming behind us, to find a better place, a better South Sudan that people are not discriminated because of their gender. People are not discriminated because of their social status. People are not discriminated because of their tribes or political affiliations, right? And all of this is really part and parcel of community. Community also help to enrich these young ladies, because we have a library as Ma Mara Sakit Village. And so I would invite people to really, you go to the library. Our office is in Buluk. Our office is in Buluk, so that you borrow books that can really enrich your understanding of women's rights, women's movement, feminism, and even constitution, peace agreement, name it. It's a great resource center. So just the thing is, we need to accept change, embrace change, and be willing to learn. And like she said, it's really personal. And for me, before I even joined this space, I was not the way I am currently. So I've learned a lot from them and the rest of the ladies that are not here. I've learned a lot from Aloel and Paula. I've really just learned a lot from that feminist community. And it has enriched my growth as a person. So if you are listening there, please just be supportive, be kind to one another, and be willing to help when you can. If you cannot, of course, you can refer them to other people for help, which is one of the things that we do in the space. Because if I'm not able to maybe come in on a particular issue, then I know Nyayuel or I know Martina can take you to exactly where you need help from. So it's all about
Thank
peace.
you so much, girls. Thank you, Martina. Thank you, Nyayuel. And we are almost signing out, but I am really so honored to let you know that we have Grace with us in the studio, language interpreter, in recognition of people with disability. So a big shout out to Grace, and we welcome Grace. We will meet again next Thursday. This is Gender Talk 211 with Jackie Ben.